Okay, so the next stitch that we're going to do is called an invisible stitch. Invisible stitch is really great for doing repair work on things that are already made and that need to have repair on them, especially things like upholstered furniture or stuffed animals, you know, things that are sort of dimensional like that and are already made, and they maybe have a tear in them, but it's a situation where you can't see the inside or you can't get to the inside of it. So you have to repair it from the top instead of sewing it from the backside like we normally would be doing. So I have taken one of our pieces of sample fabric and folded it into fourths. It's going to give me this one side that's got the two folded edges. So I'm going to use that to demonstrate this on because it gives us a good idea of how to sew this. The first thing that I'm going to do is take a tiny stitch going into this corner. So I'm going to take a little stitch going into the corner. What this is going to do is going to get my knot on the inside, which we want. You don't want the knot showing, and you want to be able to hide it on the inside. So you just take a small stitch, and you can see if I open this back up, I can show you. See how the knot is just hanging out on the inside there. And of course, you might not be able to see it really well when you're actually repairing something, but that's the idea for how you know where it is, okay? So really what we're going to do is just take tiny stitches back and forth into those folds. And in doing so, we're going to sew it together. So I'm going to take a small stitch right into the fold there, into the fold on this one side. Just a small stitch that only goes through this fold. See how it's like riding right along the top of the fold? Small stitch there. And then I'm going to go straight across to the fold on the other side and take another small stitch that goes through that fold and comes back out. Go straight across back to the first side and go into the fold. Take another small stitch. And see how the stitches are just riding along that fold line. Straight across. Small stitch right there along the fold line and pull through. You'll see for the most part that your thread isn't really visible. It's really only visible when you're crossing from one side over to the other side. It's the only time that you can really see those threads at all. And if you are really careful about it, once again, I'm having a little difficulty because I'm having trouble seeing what I'm sewing with the phone in the way. But you can make this stitch so that it almost disappears. And you can use this to stitch together, you know, like I said, holes, repair work for doing repairs for things that when you're unable to get to the wrong side of the fabric and when you have to repair something from the top. This is the way to do a repair on it so that you can get it closed, right? So, and this is okay. I think if, you know, if I look at, you can see that this is closed shut now. And that honestly, like I was saying before with the last sample, if the thread was a matching thread, you would not be able to really see the stitching. So this is the goal of that. This one, to tie off, I just usually take 3 little stitches like right on top like this. And show you a little trick for this. I'm going to do the 3 stitches like we had talked about before, the 3 stitches for how to get rid of something. And you're like, yeah, but now we're going to have to cut that string off. So how are we going to do that? And this is a little trick that I will show you on this. I'm going to take this and then I'm going to go, and the needle is between these layers. Okay, so the needle's floating around here. If this is a situation where you can't get to the inside, you can take it, I'm going to just take it randomly and pull the needle out all the way over here. And then if I take my scissors and pull on this, you can cut the thread and the thread tail pops to the inside. See how it just like, it just pops to the inside. So you can hide the tail back inside pretty easily just by taking your needle to a different point and pulling it a little bit so that when you cut it, the thread kind of springs back to the inside. But that's how you do the invisible stitch. So if you have gotten, this will be your 4th sewing sample. The next tutorials that we're going to be doing are going to be for snaps and buttons. So I will be doing those next. I will offer you at this point for some extra credit points. If you want some extra credit, find something there at your dorm room or in your apartment or at your parents' house or wherever you are right now. Find something that needs to be repaired, that can be repaired using one of the stitches that we have already learned. Repair it, sew it together, take a picture of it for me so that I can see that you've done it, and I will put something on the discussion board on Blackboard where you can upload the picture and show me what you've done for repair work. So if you have a stuffed animal that the stitching's popped, or if you have a shirt that has a hole in the side seam, any of those things that just, need to be repaired. Everybody has something at their house that needs to have a quick repair. So go ahead and do that. Take a picture of it, drop it on the discussion board, and I will give you some extra credit points for it. And I will be back later moving on to buttons and snaps.